Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see from Nyayo Stadium, youths are shouting, "RUTO must go." And one thing that people must know is that this game is going to be captured across the entire world. So for those that will be watching the match, they'll be able to see from some point of Nyayo Stadium, youths are shouting, "RUTO must go." There are so many lessons we can learn from this kind of an event, but before I take you through that, please, if this is the first time you're watching my videos, kindly make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Now, the fact is that this country, Kenya, is made up of 75% of its population is made up of youths. And the fact remains that most of these youths now are ready to go and vote come 2027. And most of these youths hate President William Ruto. Why do they do so? Number one in the list, it's because of the events of June 2024. During this June 2024, youths came up and stopped President William Ruto from having the Finance Bill 2024 being implemented. Actually, it was informed from the Finance Bill 2023, which did not reap fruit for this country. Instead, it made politicians rich. So when they brought Finance Bill 2024, youths moved back a step and asked themselves, wait, the money that you collected from Finance Bill 2023, where did you take it? Because we haven't seen any road. You've not paid taxes. You are still borrowing. You are politicians becoming rich. Where is this money going? So that's how they said, first, before you bring Finance Bill 2024, please first let us see what the Finance Bill 2023 has done to this country. And that's how the journey for rejecting Finance Bill 2024 started. Youths were very peaceful, participated in protests, carrying a phone, water, and a flag. The MPs arrogantly voted in support of the bill that the youths did not want, or even the public did not want. And as a result, youths continued progressing their demonstrations until they occupied parliament. Now on 25th June, which was the climax, youths were shot straight in the heads. Some of them got arrested. I remember I had in Githurai and Rongai, people were shot seriously. And even there was a kid of about 8 years or 12 that was shot 11 rubber bullets on his back. Then you ask yourself, what was the intention of this police officer? Those experiences of June 2024 are still fresh in the people's minds. And as a result, the rejection for President William Ruto keeps on increasing amongst the youths in this country. Therefore, making the youths, whenever they get a platform where they're slightly provoked, they shout, "William Ruto must go. Must go." So the first thing that makes William Ruto get this kind of rejection from the youths is the events that occurred on June. Actually, the events whose climax was 25th June 2024. That's the first one. The second one, after that event of June 2024, Ruto made a reshuffle to his cabinet. And one crazy thing happened. Those people that the youths asked William Ruto to get rid of from the government, William Ruto returned to them. Number one on the list was Murkomen, an incompetent cabinet secretary. Both actually started from roads, incompetent. Sports, incompetent. Now he's in the interior, still nothing good is happening there. So the fact remains, as we speak today, William Ruto ignored the youths. And instead of them celebrating him for listening to them, they are now decampaigning him and depopularizing him simply because he did not listen to their call of 25th June 2024. Apart from that, after all these things had occurred, we had the youths of this country getting abducted and disappearing. And these things were mostly done on broad daylight. A scenario where people are captured on CCTV, abducting both young and old people, then taken somewhere nobody knows. The most touching thing is when these youths came out of these abductions, when they were released, some of them, they gave horror stories on how they had each things happening there. One of them actually said that he was being whipped at his back while naked in a room, handcuffed. Some of them covered their faces. Their faces were completely covered. They couldn't see anyone. Then whipped seriously. A terrible story to be told. So the youths of this country are still watching these things being said online. And the anger against President William Ruto keeps rising. Apart from that, some youths were abducted and never came back. They were never released. Nobody knows where they are. But we are lucky enough to get some, at least their bodies found at City Mortuary. And that is touching. To give a story here, there's a gentleman who was recently captured last year from a bathroom in front of the wife and kid, and this gentleman disappeared completely. Until now, he cannot see where the family cannot have a father, because he was found dead eventually at City Mortuary. Such a sad story where a father was taken in front of the daughter and got killed. In return, we had what we call a body being recovered, being found at City Mortuary. How is this family going to survive if this was the breadwinner? How is the father going to cry about this kind of a story? How is the wife going to live in the rest of her life with a young kid without the father? Such a terrible story to tell. So youths across the country have been watching and following this closely. And as a result, they develop more anger towards President William Ruto, hence the rejection you are seeing at Nyayo Stadium. As if that is not enough. All the things that President William Ruto, all the things that the youths of this country were asking President William Ruto to do back in June, they are still happening as we speak today. If it is the issue of wastage of public funds through unnecessary travels, William Ruto, in fact, is more than doing that, because he's generally campaigning using the public funds. He's all over, speaking things that are not there, unrealistic, and things that completely are not necessary to the common man. And as a result, when people do see this kind of a thing happening, they still develop that kind of an anger towards him. So making him actually, as we speak today, an enemy of the youths. So therefore, that is why we are seeing this kind of a rejection all over across the country. Also, we cannot assume the fact that there are some policies that have been passed by the government of William Ruto, and these policies directly hurt common manage. You can talk of the issue to do with the funding model of the universities. You can talk of the issues to do with help that was there before. You can talk of the issues to do with joblessness. You can talk of the issues to do with housing levy that is seriously crippling parents back at home, and the youths get the direct impact because they can't even have 3 meals a day. So when they experience these hardships, they simply remember the causes President William Ruto. Hence the rejection you are seeing, the one that is happening at Nyayo Stadium. Basically, it is from the governance that William Ruto has been bringing across the country. That is why we are having the youth rejecting Ruto in any platform. And it's a message that William Ruto, Raila Amolo Odinga and his team must take serious, because the youths have 8 million votes. If they decide to vote, assuming it's just 4, and then we have at least 2 from Western region, then we have at least 4 from Central region. So the opponent against President William Ruto, who will be a better candidate to William Ruto as a president, then William Ruto is going to lose very early in the morning. I don't know what's your take, but I feel strongly that this is a threat to the president, and he must do something if he wants to get back to State House come 2027. Let me see your comments on the comment section, please.